Hello.
Hello.
My dear lotus petals. My blue light specials. This is Sananda, here with you this evening, doing my best to bring through some good humor for you, my dear.
Thank you.
Perhaps there will be more along the way. A sense of humor is quite necessary in these changing times. It is good to be able to withdraw a bit from your experience of self and to observe the comedy in action. In fact, the comedy helps you to do so. If you can laugh at yourself, you can detach a little bit more from your process and enjoy it a little bit more. So let us relax this evening and enjoy our company together. I have a few things I would like to discuss, and most of all, I have a great deal of joy within my heart to share with you. A great deal of excitement and enthusiasm that I will share with you in my own calm way. I do not think I will be doing any dancing this evening, at least not in this particular body. Not enough rhythm. So I think perhaps you have been noticing the stepping up of the energy lately, as you refer to it when you feel things intensifying. You look at one another and shake your heads and say, have you noticed the energy has stepped up lately? Well, for most of you, and in most cases, this is a sufficient description. For truly it is difficult to describe what is meant by this. The energy has stepped up lately. It has become a new age concept or expression. An all-encompassing description of the increase in intensity of experience. In fact, two beings may be experiencing quite different sensations, but one thing they can agree on is that the energy has stepped up lately. For the energy of this transformation will strike each of you somewhat uniquely. You will all share the effect of an increase in intensity. The manifestation of that intensity will be unique to you. So many will share similar experiences. For it is the nature of this transformational energy that it is quite flexible in its action upon you and within you. It is like light. It is light. Light does what it has to do. It creates the reactions which it must create. It fills the voids that are there to be filled. It activates that which requires activation. So if one being is requiring some emotional release and the intensity of the energy is stepped up, they will feel a little bit more inclined to release. That will be their aspect in the process. Perhaps another will find an increased intensity of presence around them for a particular masters or guides. Perhaps they will feel their abilities in certain areas expanding or becoming more solidified. You see, whatever is the next step on your path is what is activated. It can be physical, it can be spiritual, it can be emotional. It can be a deeper level of peace or a deeper level of chaos, apparently. But what it truly is light. What it truly is the fact that the light is stronger. And the light is stronger. And today we have passed a somewhat of a milestone. There are many milestones and many days and many intensifications on this path, so I do not wish to say that, or give you the idea that this day is above all others in importance, that it is a milestone. We could say that the energies of the fifth dimension are more readily available to you, are penetrating the earth at this time. The earth has entered that area of the universe which is more filled with fifth dimensional energy. So you could say that we have crossed a little bit into the border of the twilight zone. But I think it is not twilight, but the dawn of a new day. What does this mean to you, my dear blue light specials, sitting here shining so beautifully? Well, I think it is more joy and more of your experience of evolvement, more of your feeling of at-homeness. You will notice as time goes by increased lightness within your being, and those energies which you have been bringing through in your meditations and channelings will seem somewhat closer to you, somewhat more easily available. In fact, you may feel that you are walking through a beautiful experience, a beautiful new energy field. It all depends on your level of awareness, your level of sensitivity. On a planetary level, I would say that the gap is widening between the light workers and the light beings, and the darkness, as you have called it. I would say that much of activation of release will be occurring. It will be stepped up. As the earth can wait no longer, the earth is entering that phase, that portion of the universe wherein she will perform her clearing. She has begun already, as you know, but with further intensity it will develop up until that time of the final clearing. You might say that the earth has entered a space where she feels more comfortable, more nurtured, more at home, and where she also feels that it is no longer necessary, no longer appropriate for her to withhold within her emotional body all the negativity and the density and angers and hatreds that have been deposited there by humanity over the course of this long history. So know that it is time for you all to identify with who you truly are, to make that shift that Archangel Michael was speaking of, make the shift into your next phase. Truly you are doing so. You are giving yourselves to this experience, and this is why you are having the beauty in your heart, why you are seeing the light that you are seeing, why you are receiving the processes of clearing. So for you, who are of the light, it is a time of great joy, a time of homecoming. For you have passed a milestone, and this milestone is an indicator to you that it will not be long before you are feeling unlimited joy, unlimited peace, before you can release all that is limiting you towards, all that is limiting you to a single tiny perspective or personality. It will take some adjustment. There have been many increases in the energy previous, and you have adjusted to that. You will have to make another adjustment here. And you will realize that you are on a path of adjusting to increased energy. It will be graceful for you, more graceful than for many. Those beings who are existing as if within the third dimension, they are not in the third dimension any longer, but they are clinging to third dimensional reality, let me say. Those who are sitting on the fence, who have not yet given themselves or committed themselves, will be finding much more of a shaking of their fence, and they will have to choose between love and light and limitation and density. So, for those who have not yet made their choice, the time will come very soon. The time is here when they must choose their affiliation, so to speak. This does not mean they need to instantly become aware of the Ashtar command and of all of this strange information that is coming through. It means only that they must choose love. They must choose peace and acceptance rather than anger and fear. You see, it is somewhat an overlapping experience. You are here, you are experiencing fifth dimensional energies. To whatever extent you are open, you are feeling quite expanded. At least I am. I trust that most of you are feeling somewhat the same, to a certain degree. There are those who are existing in this world who are still believing that the third dimension is all there is. And you see, they are in the process of falling at 2 dimensions behind in their consciousness. At that point, it becomes extremely difficult to make up the gap. It becomes extremely difficult. It is a shake-up time for them, a time for them to choose. You have seen or experienced somewhat those beings who have left their bodies in the death experience, but still believe they are in their third dimensional reality. In effect, they are what you would call ghosts. Those beings who have died and entered the fourth dimension, yet for a time, or for some beings, for a very long time, there is an experience that they believe they are still existing in the third dimension. They cannot let go of their old experience and go on to what is the next phase for them. And so I say to you that all those beings who are on this planet, in this world at this time, who are still clinging to only third dimensional reality, are as ghosts who have died, who have not yet become aware of the transformation that has taken place in their beings. The restructuring of their atoms, the restructuring of their consciousness, it is still a subconscious experience to them. And this is why they will become a little bit more confused, a little bit more disoriented as time goes on. And it is for us, and it is for you, to assist by sharing love and guidance where you can. I am not saying this so that you will feel a sense of separation between yourselves and humanity. I am telling you this so that you will, out of the love of your hearts, be able to understand more and have more compassion for those who have not yet this awareness, who have not the ability to love themselves. To love yourself is what is required here. To let go of limitation and to surrender to the expansion and the development of the self, the emergence with the higher self, the God self. So you could say that we are on the border of the fifth dimension here. You could say that the aura of the earth has entered into the aura of the fifth dimensional area. This is a crude way to describe it. Geographically almost. It is an interdimensional experience. And that these energies will be more and more present, and they will be making their way through the spiritual bodies of the beings and the being of the earth, the emotional body of the earth, all of the non-physical, so-called bodies of human beings and the planet in general. And there will come a time, after a certain point, when the transformation will become more readily apparent. Or shall we say, the clearing of the lesser energies will become more apparent. It is an interesting phenomenon. For those beings who are existing on the fifth dimension, for example, we will use the Ashtar command in their light vehicles. Well, to you they are light vehicles. To them they are ships. And you might think that when you make the leap into the higher dimension, that you will feel somewhat floating in a cloud-like essence, a very vaporous experience. Yet this is not so. You will find that you still have the sensation of physicality. It will not feel quite the same. It will be much lighter and less heavy. But to you, when you sit down on your seat in the ship, you will definitely feel a contact between your rear end and what you are sitting on, just as you do now. When you take a goblet to drink your drink, you will have the sensation of holding that in your hand. Everything will seem somewhat as it does now. Now, for beings who would still be on the third dimension, they would not be able to see you at all. But because you are on the fifth, you would be able to experience that as your reality. Are you confused yet? So what I am saying is that the earth is going into the fifth dimension, and we are going into the fifth dimension with her, all of you in your bodies here, all of us who are awaiting you. And to you it may seem that not that much has changed. You will still be walking around on solid ground and performing your activities, you see, because the solid ground and the ground and the reference point of your activities will also be moving into the fifth dimension. What you will be experiencing that is different, most likely will be the clearing of the lower energies, which must be moved out in order to make this transition. There will come a point when the Earth's body will need a radical clearing, and at that point the evacuation will be necessary. And then it will take some time for the transformation to take place, to complete itself, so that the Earth is truly a fifth-dimensional body. So it is at that time when it will be highly undesirable to be present, when that shift begins to take place. Up until then, you will be experiencing the clearing, you will be experiencing the release of anger and tension, such as you are experiencing now in the Middle East and in all corners of the Earth. And within your own bodies, the emotions will be cleared, and the Earth will be clearing herself of the pain that she has absorbed with her process, with her shaking and quaking, and all of her many ways. So I tell you, my dear friends, that you are to be as lotus petals. You are to be in your consciousness and in your lives like lotuses floating above the murk, above the murky water, pristine and pure, unaffected by that which is occurring beneath you in the more dense levels. The lotus petal floats in the muddy water, but is always beautiful and always transcendent. So I come to encourage your transcendence this evening. It is time to focus yourselves as you have been. It is time to be a little bit more aware of the transformations and what you can do to maintain your focus. Give yourselves to meditation. Perhaps you might wish to give yourselves a little bit more of this. If you are feeling a great deal of stress and discomfort, it is because you need to be a little more transcendent. Perhaps your toes are sticking into the mud a little bit. But if you will maintain your focus within, give yourself to that unconditional love, the only discomforts you will experience will be those that are absolutely necessary within your process of growth and learning and in your process of clearing. So you are to assume full responsibility for that which you experience, knowing that it is not the fault of the world or any other beings, but that which you have created for yourself to learn from. So tonight I would like to do a little bit of healing work with the planet using you as focal points. If you have any questions, now is your opportunity to ask.
Sananda, I have a question. When I meditate, I, for the most part, call upon you to be there, and I feel most connected by heart to you. I don't as yet feel your definite presence or some sign that you are really there. How can I do this, or how can I become more aware of your presence? And also, I would like to experience channeling your particular energy. How could I be more able to do that?
You are well on your way. It is a matter of your meditation, learning to be more still and peaceful in meditation. If you can learn to still yourself, to calm yourself, you will become more and more sensitive to vibrations. You become more and more subtly sensitive, you see. So though you have a sense of me being around you, I am around you. I am always with you, my dear one. And in those times when you call upon me to feel me, I intensify my presence. Yet it is for us to become a little bit more synchronized. It is for you to become a little bit more still in your heart, a little bit more in your nervous system peaceful. This takes some time, so be patient with yourself. I would say for now simply trust that I am with you if you call upon me. And perhaps the sensations that you are seeking are much more subtle than what you would expect or hope for at first. Insofar as you're channeling me, I offer myself to you in this way. There are going to be channeling opportunities. There are going to be channeling classes that are available. We will give you more information about that later. And if you would like, you may involve yourself in that. That will be of a big help to you. For now, I say be patient and focus on meditation and simply opening yourself up to Spirit, to your higher self. I will come through your higher self to you. It is a matter of you learning to connect and identify with your higher self, learning to make that connection in a strong and clear way. Then all number of ascended beings can come through you, for we come through the channel of your higher self. You can receive some more personalized attention if you desire it. That will be available to you also.
Thank you.
I have a question, Sananda. I'm wondering with the opening of the fifth dimension, if we'll be experiencing more capability in seeing, like healers, fairies, gnomes, that sort of thing. Also.
Yes, indeed, you will have a heightened awareness. But whatever your talents are, whatever your so-called psychic abilities are, they will be heightened, they will be more pronounced. There will come a time quite soon when all of your veils will be removed and you can see much more and experience much more of the magnificence of the world around you and the magnificence of the world within you. If you desire to experience fairies, you may speak to Christine, and she will tell you about a certain place where they are crawling all over. And if you go there and sit, they will crawl all over you. It is quite pleasant.
I have one other question. Harmonic convergence in '87 was a time of, I guess we could call it a separation, good and evil, or a change in the negative energy, containment, that sort of thing. And I'm wondering if with the movement in the fifth dimension there are other factors that we don't see yet on the spiritual level.
Yes, indeed, there are many factors and many imports, or shall I say portents, for this time. You could say that the harmonic convergence, which had its anniversary 3 years ago this evening, was the time when the Earth entered into the fourth dimension. And now we are through that band, at least in some ways, enough to make the next step. So there will be a further enhancement of the light and a further pronounced enhancement of those beings who have not given themselves to the light. So I would say that that which held true of the harmonic convergence time is amplified. I will leave you to realizing within your own hearts, within your own meditations, what this means to you, for there is much and many wonders that are to be coming through to you. I think you will have a feeling overall of a simple sense of being closer to your source and more joy and more light within you, less density to pierce in your meditations and channelings. Perhaps I would say that new energies and new entities will be available to you. Perhaps you can experience and will experience a little bit of shifting within your connections and contacts, so that it will be easier for you to connect with more and more expanded beings. As soon as you are ready to, as soon as you have the desire.
Sananda, I have another question concerning this cosmic name business.
It's quite a business, isn't it? You could pay a psychic many dollars to have them give you your cosmic name. There's a whole other line of work for many of you psychics now. You can add that to your scenarios or your menu. Go ahead.
Well, when I think of other names other than my own, it's not real comfortable, and I feel right at home with my own name, and I would like to know if you have a personal opinion about this for me. Always interested in your personal opinion.
That's another way of saying you want the inside goods.
That's right.
And saying it in a way so that I will not have to speak it as a prediction or as a truth, but as an opinion.
Yes.
Very clever of you. I think you know me better than you think. I would say for you to be comfortable with the name that you have until such time as you feel another presented to you. I am not going to tell you if this is your cosmic name or not. In fact, there is a very good chance there is another for you, but you see, as we have discussed, it takes a little bit of time for you to acclimate yourself to that. It is another vibration, another frequency. So you are accustomed to the frequency and the vibration and the sound of your name now. And at first, when you hear your cosmic name, it will sound like the name of a stranger. But as it is repeated to you, or as you repeat it to yourself, you will find that a part of yourself becomes more acclimated towards that, and sooner or later you will make a shift within yourself to an acknowledgement that, yes, I must surrender to the fact that I have a cosmic name also. It is not a critical event in your life, I would say. It is something of a fringe benefit. You will find it when you need to find it. Soon the old ways of being will fall away, and along with it your old way of relating to yourself as your name now. It is not necessary to change your names. Even if you find your cosmic name, you can reserve that for your time of ascension, where everyone will be calling you by a new name or by your cosmic name, or in my case, by both. You see. I think I am a little bit more clever even than you.
You certainly got around that one. Thank you.
It is not a service to you for me to attempt to give you your cosmic name.
Okay.
It is a very precious moment for each being. If I were to give it to you, I would be robbing you of a precious moment in your growth, a time of joy. So it is a present that you will receive from your own guidance, from your own higher self, from your own guides internally. Perhaps when you make your contact with me more internally, I will give you some more hints. But in this format, no. So there is another carrot on the end of the stick for you. Be patient, you are doing beautifully. You have much to unwind. Yes, much of process and much of your physical process as well. Many things are impacting your ability to connect, to find that peace. And I would say we are working with you at the most beneficial rate, you see. If you try to put 20 pounds of potatoes in a 10-pound bag, the bag will tear apart. It will be not much good. So we are filling you with potatoes as fast as you are expanding. So my friends, I think it is time to do a little meditation together. I would like to do something a little bit different this evening. I would like to give you a simple guided meditation to assist in planetary healing. We will be sending some love and healing to the Middle East, that area of the globe which is so inflamed with anger and hatred. Perhaps the work that we do will have somewhat of an effect of releasing some of this energy in a positive way. So let us simply relax and breathe together. I would like you to visualize and experience a cylinder of light coming down from above that is size enough to surround this entire gathering, surround this entire room. The light comes from high above, from higher dimensions, and goes through the earth, into the core of the earth. And this light comes out the other side of the earth in an expanded cylinder of light, and this cylinder contains within it, on the other side of the earth, the entire Middle East region. We are going to ask you to send your love and blessings. I'm going to ask you to open your heart centers, to hold your hands in a position where you can transmit energy. You can imagine the earth in the center of the circle if you feel this is appropriate, if this helps you. And simply visualize light coming through your hands, surrounding the earth, and the earth absorbing that light. And this energy will be carried through the earth to that region that is in such need of it. So let us sit for a few minutes and shower our love and channel the love of the Creator to this area. So I would like to now ask you to refrain from your channelings. I would like to call on the presence of the beloved Archangel Michael to sever any psychic connections that we might individually or as a group have with the Middle East problems and with the changes that are in effect there. I'd like to ask Archangel Michael to sever these psychic connections. Know that we are again sealed in our own energy. So my friends, you may meditate a little bit if you would like to bask in this aura that we have created here this evening, you and I and many others. I thank you for your attention. I bless you on your journey into the higher dimensions. I congratulate you on the role you have each played and on the roles you will play. I love you so much. Good night.
Good night.